Chinlins would look to a renowned free paladin for aid. We live in troubling times, Tolucc, as you well know. That is why it is more important than ever that the Sultan's Sworn stand ready to serve as the sword and shield of the Sultanate. For a time I feared that our order was doomed, but then you helped us to restore our good name. Your shining example inspired many young men and women to seek us out. Even as we speak, they train to hone their skills. A few words of encouragement from the famed Free Paladin herself would do much to motivate them further, I should think. Perhaps you would consider paying them a visit at Camp Blue Frog? Pleasure to meet you, Tolucc. My name is Owen. At the moment, Phyllis and I are conducting drills with the new recruits at the East Watchtower. They'll be thrilled to see you, I'm sure. Since we all know you're a woman of few words, I thought we might forgo the speech and instead ask you to favor us with a display of swordsmanship. We've laid out bait for the basilisks already. In fact, you need only wait for them to come. Truly a rousing performance, Tolucc. Thank you. It's one to talk about proper technique, but an altogether different thing to see it firsthand. I think it's safe to say that the recruits will long remember this day, as will I. Welcome, Tolucc. I gather the recruits took your lesson to heart? Would that I had some way to repay you, some knowledge or technique to bequeath to you. I am humbled to admit that there is nothing I can teach you. All I can offer you is my heartfelt thanks. Pray go forth, my friend, and continue to defend the people of Ul'dah and Eorzea at large. Begging your pardons, Tolucc. We need to talk, but not here. At the dispatch yard, outside the city. Thank you for coming, Tolucc. You must be wondering why I called you here. It concerns Solkazal, Jenslin's predecessor. As you may recall, he continued to search for Oathkeeper, the sword stolen from us by the Monarch's minions. From time to time, he sends me missives, sharing with me his latest discoveries. His most recent one contained a startling claim. He wrote that he found the sword at long last. But that was some time ago, and he has not contacted me since. I would not trouble Genlins with this news, not until I learn what has become of Solkazal. At the very least, will you help me find him? I knew I could count on you, Tolucc. For now, all I know is that his last missive came to me by way of Ishgard. Once I learn more, we can begin the search in earnest. Papashan is relieved to see you. Ah, just the woman I was hoping to see. I now know from where Solchazol sent his last missive to me. Falcon's Nest, a hamlet in the Coerthas Western Highlands. It is there I would have you begin your search. Reclaiming Oathkeeper would do much to restore the honor of the Sultansworn, but we must not get ahead of ourselves. First, we must find our missing man. Solchazol, never heard of him. Was he one of the new craftsmen working with 100 Eyes? Sorry, we see an awful lot of new faces around here. Most don't leave an impression, other than the heretics and bandits, that is. Oh, Rowan and Paladin? Well, I do recall a traveler who spent several days here at least. There was a pitched battle the other night, out in the wastes. Involved a rather large man and a party of his fellow heretics. To hear the scouts tell it, naturally, we choose not to intervene. If they wish to kill each other, by all means. Heard you was asking after a Rodan, and in a fashion that might give a man cause to worry. Oh, I know Solchazol. New, I should say. Older fellow, spent some time chatting with the young blood. He came through like the rest of us before him, looking for the same thing we all do. Bandits ambushed him in the night, out in the wastes. Buried him with my own 2 hands the next day, out near Camp River's meet. Constained took it especially hard, close as he was to him. Halon's blessing be upon you, miss. I say, that was a rather frightful experience. Were you a friend of Solchazol's too? Ah, good. That is to say, my condolences. I knew there had to be others who would want to know. 'Twas the word of death's embrace, I'd wager. Those fiends you slew just now were sent by them as well. My kinsmen think them but another band of sellswords or heretics. If only they knew what they were truly capable of. I can only hope that they will heed my warnings this time, if you would excuse me. Tolucc, this is Papashan. Have you found Solchazol? Gods almighty, slain by death's embrace? I heard some of those bastards were still skulking about, but I never thought they would try to... wait, could it be that they were the ones who held Oathkeeper? And that they killed Solchazol when he tried to take it back? Damn it all, we've still no answers, though there's still the boy. Get after him and find out what he knows. A pleasure to see you again, miss. Was there something you wish to discuss? Oh, so you're the free Paladin Sokozol told me all about. It's an honor to meet you at last, Tolucc. That is, for the second time. My name is Constant. Truly honored, miss. Truly honored. Sorry if I'm a bit out of sorts. It's just, I've been thinking about him a lot. After the day we first met when he saved me, how his sword gleamed as he danced among the wolves. I begged him to teach me the ways of the Paladin, so I could save others like he had saved me. He must have turned me down a dozen times before he finally repented. Probably because he caught me asking him around about Oathkeeper. But I suppose he didn't think I was strong enough to help him reclaim the sword. But why else would he sneak off to challenge Death's embrace while I was away? I should have been there, Tolucc. I should have been there. I've decided I'm gonna take it back. Oathkeeper, I mean. He said I wasn't ready to wield this soul, but what choice do I have now that he's gone? You want to find it too, don't you? Then help me, Tolucc, please. You will? Alone be praised. You won't regret this. Oh, if Sokozol could see us now. Two paladins united in purpose. Well, I suppose it's rather premature for me to claim the title, isn't it? One veteran paladin, one aspiring paladin then. United in purpose. We shall recover Oathkeeper and bring Sokozol's murderers to justice. As soon as I uncover new information, that is. Constant has made an exciting new discovery. I have tidings, Tolucc. Hidden among Sokozol's belongings was a journal, the final entry of which contains what appears to be a map of the Gorgain holding. He marked a spot near the river, though he did not write why. Yet considering how devoted he was to recovering Oathkeeper, surely it has some relation. I say we sally forth and investigate. We may encounter wild beasts or worse, of course, but we are well equipped to face them. Well, that is to say, you are. Impressive, eh? It took some doing, but I managed to resize Sokozol's solarates. They should afford me excellent protection against, thigh-high threats. Anyway, let's see where this map leads. Somewhere over yonder, perhaps? Or was it further to the... Oh, Tolucc. Find anything? Sokozol's coronet! Then he did come here! There is a trail of blood as well, you said? Let's follow it and see where it leads. It seems to lead towards the Dusk Vigil. I think it's taking us westward. Of course! Death's Embrace! They must have made camp here and Sokozol learned of it. Well, wait. Was that movement just now? To the west! We cannot let them escape! End of the road. They don't seem to be carrying Oathkeeper. Well, if nothing else, we can at least bring them to justice for their countless other crimes and ensure that they harm no more innocents. To arms, Tolucc! For justice! For Sokozol! I thought the cornet would help, but that speech still felt rather uninspired. Did we win? I mean, by the Fury, we won! That villainous scum will prey on the weak no longer. Pity they didn't have Oathkeeper. Well, all's in a day of work for us pair of us paladins, eh? Back to Falcon's Nest for a well-earned rest. The wheels of justice are slow to turn, as we will all know too well. Even Sir Imeric, who they say cares deeply for the welfare of every Ishgardian, even he is bound by bureaucracy. It all comes back to war in the end. If it's not heretics or dragons, well, you know how it is. And the Forelands, well, if you head that far west without enough hired help, you've no one to blame but yourself for what happens. So when my mother's caravan was raided on the road to Tailfeather, I was resigned to never knowing who to blame. Until Sokazol told me all about Death's Embrace, and I realized they were the ones responsible for that and many other attacks. They chose their targets with care, preying on those who wouldn't be missed, save by their equally powerless friends and family. But everyone deserves a champion. Even the least among us are worth saving. I don't know if the remaining members of Death's Embrace have Oathkeeper, but even if they don't, it's our duty as paladins to stop them. That's what Solkazol would say if he were here, right? Constained wishes to share with you a rather unusual development. Curious tidings, Tolucc. Not long ago I received word from an acquaintance of mine, Grimold, who claims to have in his possession a missive written by Solkazol and addressed to me. He insisted that I come collect it from him in person in Tailfeather, and since we haven't any leads in our search for Oathkeeper, I see no reason to deny him. Let us be off then. I appreciate you coming all this way, Constant. I know it must seem a little odd. Frankly, it's been strange from the start. Who sends a missive with provisions when we've got Mughals running about who can do it far faster? Not to mention the fact that the bandits have been raiding caravans to Tailfeather for weeks. If it weren't for them moving on, this latest shipment would have likely never arrived. Any road. From what I can tell, it was languishing in someone's storeroom for a while. Better late than never, though, eh? It was your friend's wish for that you come all this way. Read it for yourself and you'll see. I left you a gift near the 100 Throws. Take it and become the man you were destined to be. Curious fellow, this Solkazol. Anyway, if I were you, I'd head north and find whatever it was before someone else does. My thanks, friend. I shall do just that. Let's head towards the Throws and see what we find, Tolucc. It should be around here somewhere. Is that a soul you found? By the fury it is! And look! Apparent gallant cuisses! But why? Why do I feel like I'm being led by the nose? First the journal, now this missive? There's so much I want to ask, so much I should have asked when he was still alive. To be honest, I never really understood why you accepted me as your pupil. What made you change your mind? What did you see in me? And what would you have done to me now that you're gone? So it is true then. Papashan could not conceal the truth from me forever. He told me of Sokozol's claims in your search. I cannot believe it. I would not believe it, yet now. What sorcery is this? He was watching you, boy. You and your soul to bear. Could he have been a minion of Death's Embrace, spying on Sokozol's pupil? Perhaps they hoped Sokozol's quest would end with his death, that none would attempt to reclaim Oathkeeper in his stead. They thought us broken when our brothers betrayed us, when they robbed us of our sword and delivered it into their keeping. But we did not give in to despair, nor will we do so now. Oathkeeper will be ours again, I swear it. I must return to Ulda for now. The way our souls resonated was unlike anything I had ever seen before, and I would know what it pretends. Pray, continue to look after the boy, Tolucc. What do you want from me? Constant has decided on a new course of action. I'm beginning to think I've been going about this the wrong way, Tolucc. I've been trying to determine the whereabouts of Oathkeeper by retracing Sokozol's steps, but honestly, how he came to pursue and die at the hands of Death's Embrace is nearly as important as the fact that he did. Death's Embrace has the sword. It's the only logical conclusion. So we find them, we find Oathkeeper. And even if I'm mistaken, we'd be doing the world a favor by bringing them to justice. I wouldn't presume to speak for Sokozol, but I'd like to think that he'd agree, don't you? Yes, well, I suppose if we're going to find them, we had best start asking around. Though there's one thing which still troubles me, I think I need to speak with 100 Eyes. A moment of your time, if you please. For you, Constraint? Sure. It's about Sokozol. You never told me, but how exactly did he die? You want me to paint you a bloody picture? He was murdered. I found him, and I buried him. That's all you need to know. It's just that, the other day, I could have sworn that forgive me, I don't know what I was thinking. Don't let me keep you from your labors. Let us resume our hunt for Death's Embrace. Death's Embrace? Those bandits who used to raid caravans bound for Tailfeather? No one's seen neither hide nor hair of them recently. Why do you ask? Oldens, eh? Maybe they ran back to warmer climes. Never understood Southrons myself. Queer folk, prone to inexplicable and irrational behavior, like those buffoons who attempted to seize the Protector of all things. Apparently they snuck aboard some of the airships ferrying supplies to Camp Cloudtop. Of course, the Knights drove them off. Last I heard that they had fled into the wild screaming "Thall's balls" and "Swiving horsens" and that. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Tolucc? Admittedly, we've no reason to believe these men are the ones we seek, but we've been blessed with serendipity before. There's no harm in investigating, at least. The Olans who tried to seize the Protector? I remember them. Baffling, really. Signed their own death warrants with their ill-conceived attack. You can be sure the House Hellenart won't allow them to leave these isles alive. Death's Embrace, eh? I suppose it's possible they're the bandits you seek. You're welcome to help us hunt them down if you like. The boy too, yes? He can join my unit. Given your reputation, I think you're better suited to the van. I won't let you down. We gather at the Rose House. Come, let us delay no further. I'll see you there. Glad to have you with us, Mr. Scoro. Would that we could speak at length, but the Old Inns are aware of our plans and have already fled to the east. Remember that these are desperate, dangerous men. Advance with caution and wait for reinforcements if necessary. With me! Well fought, Mr. Scoro. Their leader was surely the toughest of the lot. Lady Lynette will be pleased to learn of our success. I shall inform her at once. What have you got there? Gallant gauntlets? Why would a member of Death's Embrace be carrying these? There's no way he could have possibly planned this. It's too elaborate. Nay, impossible. But what other explanation could there be? We should return to Falcon's Nest. Before we cornered their leader, we came across their camp. It was plain to see that they had fallen on hard times, hence why they resorted to common banditry to survive. But isn't it strange when you think about it? I mean, if they had Oathkeeper, why not simply sell it? Surely someone would have been willing to pay for it. I'm beginning to wonder if Sokozol succeeded in reclaiming the sword, or if Death's Embrace ever had it at all. And by the Fury, what to make of these pieces of armor? Just as I suspected, it fits perfectly. Whatever remnants of Death's Embrace there may be will still be in hiding for some time, I should think. But should they dare to reveal themselves, we'll finish what we started, as Sokozol intended. Huntstain looks as though he's suffered a tremendous shock. Terrible news, Tolucc. 100 Eyes has been gravely wounded. There were wolves, and he fought them off as best as he could, but by the time the sentries came to his aid, I went to see him earlier, but he turned me away and bid me fetch you. For the life of me, I cannot imagine why. I'll do what I can to ease his suffering. Wolves. Swyven wolves. Reckon I've earned it. So, time to settle one last account. Go to Sokozol's grave. Dig it up. Take what you find and give it to the boy. Won't make up for what I did to my sworn brothers, but perhaps it'll go away towards readdressing the balance. Of course, what we've done to the boy ain't hardly defensible, no matter what he says. Several fulms beneath the cold, hard earth, you find not a coffin, but a small chest containing a gallant surecoat. What have you done? But how can this be? Why would 100 Eyes lie to us? That bastard! I'll have answers from him, from them both. Come, we're going back to Falcon's Nest. We're too late. Jinlins and I had grown worried that it has come to this. I'm sorry, there is nothing more to be done. Gods damn it all! We must have words, Constante. I go to Landscape. Look for me there. What was it all for? My comrade wishes to explain himself. Why the lies, Sokazol? Was this all just some game to you? I had my reasons, as you will soon learn. That's a rather odd way of apologizing, Sokazol. I suggest you try again. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Constant. Faking your death, constructing an elaborate scenario for me to find your armor? To be honest, I'm astonished as I am offended. How could you have possibly orchestrated everything so perfectly? It doesn't matter how I did it. What matters is why I did it. Oathkeeper is but a sword, Constant. True oaths are not forged in steel. They are sworn in the heart. To merely reclaim the sword will not suffice. It must be won by a worthy paladin. Only then will it, and our order, be restored to its former glory. I don't understand. Why not simply teach me the ways as you said you would? A sultan may move a man, a master may instruct his pupil, but only when that pupil moves himself can he become a paladin. That said, I did not account for Tolucc's intervention. Master Papashan, as we discussed. Very well. The souls we paladins wield are embodiments of our will. In keeping to your oath, they grow stronger, more dominant. In the presence of a particularly pure soul, others may be compelled to yield. But when two souls cannot reconcile, when one cannot establish dominance, it can spell disaster. That seems awfully inconvenient. Oh, you have no idea. As the discordance between two souls grow, the aether builds and the souls grow unstable. Aye, their souls looked as though that they were fit to burst with aether. Wait, you don't mean to say that their souls will be destroyed, do you? By the Fury, how do we stop it? You fight. Your souls demand it. You two cannot coexist as you are. One must rise above. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We are paladins, defenders of the weak and needy. What madness is this that we must face each other in battle? But if there is truly no other way, I will not renounce my oaths. I will become the paladin I was destined to be, and if that means that we must fight, then so be it. Come, sister! Am I truly so weak? No, Constant. Nothing could be further from the truth. You fought with honor and purpose. Do not be ashamed. Solkazol. Impressive, truly impressive. Intrigue and deception that would put Lord Lolorito to shame. Tell them the truth, Solkazol, the whole truth. Figured it out, have you? Do you still have the soul I left for you at 100 Throws? What? Oh yes, here. This soul once belonged to the first captain of the Sultansworn, the first paladin who wielded Oathkeeper. Once it shone with a resplendent light, as did Oathkeeper, but now both have lost their luster. I have the sword, and everything I have done, that I have made you all do, has been for the sole purpose of making it shine once more. Of course, it's so simple. Wait, no, it's not. It's needlessly complicated. What of your soul, the one you gave to Tolucc when you first met? I yet have it, Solkazol. Take it, and restore Oathkeeper's light with your own. Once a man has left the Sultansworn, he cannot return. My soul will no longer suffice. All I can do is show another the way, and ask that she do the same for her brothers and sisters. But she does not yet stand above all others. Not until she has bested me. Draw your sword, Tolucc. The time has come. At long last, a paladin who can make it shine again. Behold, Oathkeeper, bestowed upon the first captain of the Sultansworn, stolen under my watch by the minions of the Monterists. For years, I sought to reclaim it, to redeem myself for my failure. A paladin swears allegiance to the Sultanate. A paladin shall be the sword and shield of the Sultanate. A paladin defends the people of the realm. 30 years I aspired to those ideals. 30 years I have tried to live up to the examples set by our founder, so revered that his very soul crystal would be set in Oathkeeper's pommel. For those legendary captains of Eld, the sword would shimmer with such brilliance that night would be as day. Yet for 30 years I wore it. It shined for me but once. That was before it was taken from me, before I forswore my oath so I could reclaim it. Tolucc, through all your trials and tribulations, you have reimagined true to yourself and the Orzia. You continue to be an inspiration to us all. Come, take up Oathbringer. Rise it aloft and let it shine forth as a beacon unto us all. You were always my first choice, Tolucc. Constraint was incentive, motivation, though. In the end, he proved himself to be so much more. You're a right bastard, you know that? Doing all this just to make a bloody sword shine? Praise alone that I could found a proper mentor in Tolucc. Well, I may not be the chosen one, but I'm still a free paladin. That is the path I have chosen for myself, and on it I will stay. Well said. It would not be for you to be so easily discouraged. Gentlemen, I leave matters here in your capable hands. You've done it again, Tolucc. Oathkeeper may not shine for me as it did for you, but perhaps in time it will. But even should it not, I will not lose heart, for a paladin's virtue is not in the radiance of his blade, but in the righteousness of his actions. But what we decide to do every day, we will be good men or not. Solkazal, Oathkeepers return to the Sultan Sworn. Will you not return to us as well? As a friend and ally, perhaps, but not as a brother. Some bonds, once broken, cannot be mended. I thank you, Tolucc, for all you have done. How strange that we must turn to a free paladin rather than one of our own to show us the way. Yet, I suppose that is not the first time, is it? So that's it then? You're leaving? Ulda beckons, and besides, I've nothing left to teach you. Then I wish you well on your journey, and pray that you find happiness there. I'm coming back, you know. There's an awful lot of work to be done in Falcon's Nest, and I did make a promise to 100 Eyes. Oh, then I shall see you when you return. We should head back too, Tolucc. I'm still not quite sure what it was all for, but it seems to have ended well enough. I suppose you ought to get back to your grand adventures and meet my paladin-ing, or whatever it is you call it. Right then, it's been a pleasure, Tolucc. Oh, but I warn you, the next time we cross blades, I mean to win. Fare thee well.